Thank you very much. Presidents, ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, it's wonderful to be here, and I'm very much looking forward to have the discussion about how we can boost global clean energy transition. And I would like to thank the World Economic Forum for shining a spotlight on this so important topic. Let me start with good news. And we need good news in these times. The world is moving faster than ever towards clean energy. Last year alone, global spending on clean energy hit a record of $2 trillion. For every dollar invested in fossil fuels, you had $2 invested in renewable energy. And the power sector, clean energy investments outnumber fossil fuel by 10 to 1. So this is a shift we've been working towards for years. And it was confirmed when we all collectively set bold targets, as you mentioned, at COP28. We said we will triple renewable energy and we will double energy efficiency by 2030. It is evident the clean energy transition is happening and it is there to stay. And this is not only good news for the planet, this is also good news for innovation. It is good news for energy independence because this is homegrown energy, so it creates good jobs at home. It's good for the economic competitiveness, and last but certainly not least, it lowers energy bills, so it's good for households and businesses. Now, despite this progress, two big challenges I want to address. First, not everyone is part of this global clean energy transition. If you look at the African continent, for example, it is a continent with huge potential, as we all know, holding 60% of the world's best solar resources. Yet, it currently gets less than 2% of the global clean energy investments. 600 million people on the continent still lack access to electricity. This is not only unacceptable, it is also unfair. And that is why, together with President Ramaphosa and global citizens, we launched the global campaign, Scale Up Renewables for Africa. The goal is very simple: bring clean energy to the communities that need it most, not only in Africa, but across the globe. My second point, we are not moving fast enough. It's also about scaling up manufacturing. Every region must be able to produce the technologies it needs. It's about grids, building or upgrading 25 million kilometers of them by 2030. It's about storage, developing the capacity to keep the lights on if the wind is not blowing or the sun is not shining. All this demands massive investments. And no company, no country, and no region can do this alone. We must work together, and we must act now. And this is why today we launch the Global Energy Transition Forum. We're bringing together partners from all over the world, from Brazil to the UK, the United Arab Emirates, to Kenya, South Africa, Canada, and many others, and many more to come. We have set ourselves three goals. First, we have to sustain the momentum of our historic global energy agreement. So these global energy targets must find their way in the next wave of nationally determined contributions, the famous NDCs. We need to turn collective promises into measurable progress. So let me give you an example. In Europe, for example, we've raised our renewable target for 2030 to over 42%. Today we are at 23%, so it's lots of good and hard work ahead of us. For example, if you take electricity in the European Union, 50% of our electricity now comes from renewables. But you all know the principle, only what gets measured gets done. So this is why we rely on the trusted partnership with the International Energy Agency to measure this progress of our goals. Our second goal, we have to turn these targets into very concrete projects. This is why under Brazil's COP leadership, this forum will focus on flagship initiatives, for example, projects that bring power to underserved communities, or projects that jumpstart new clean industries and scale up clean energy globally. So with that, we can learn from each other, we can exchange best practices and have progress in concrete projects so it really changes the life of people on the ground. And finally, the Global Energy Transition Forum should help to unlock more investment. If we want to be faster, we need more investment. And I'm very glad that the UK is leading this change. Together we will champion smarter financing with de-risking tools, blended finance, other solutions to lower costs, and attract private capital. We can also learn from African governments who are introducing tax breaks, public-private partnership, renewable energy incentives, and we see already that these efforts are bearing fruit. Because in the last 2 years, clean energy investments in Africa nearly doubled already. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Global Energy Transition Forum is all about connecting the dots, about making sure that governments, companies, investors find each other, as they do today here. In these times of harsh geostrategic competition, predictability, certainty, and reliability matters. I want to be very clear with my message. Europe stays the course, and we stand ready to work with all global actors to accelerate the transition to clean energy. Thank you very much.
Madam President, thank you so much for your opening remarks.